Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the forecast discussion for February 9th, 2014. It's currently 8:46 a.m. It is chilly out there with temperatures in the single digits to lower teens over the interior and mid-teens to lower 20s over the New York City metropolitan area, lower to mid-20s over the Philadelphia metropolitan area, and the New Jersey coast. Good news today. We're going to have some light snow, but it will not be heavy. There'll be no major winter storms today. Don't worry. I know there's some people still a little bit skittish. I'm still getting emails about a 30-inch snowstorm for today. It's not happening. It's not happening. Relax. Everything's going to be fine. Just 1 to 3 inches of snow. It'll be a little bit slick tonight, but no major blizzards or snowstorms or anything of that nature yet. I know I said yet. I'll explain why in just a moment. So here we are. We have clouds increasing throughout the day today. Temperatures are going to be rebounding a bit. Upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast, mid 20s over the interior. Now, we have a disturbance that is approaching the region. Now, it looks a little bit impressive. I agree on the radar. A lot of this is not reaching the ground over Ohio and Indiana. Most of it is, but it's not as intense. So we're looking at this band of light snow moving through the region basically between 6 p.m. tonight and 12 a.m. tomorrow morning, or midnight tonight, with generally 1 to 3 inches of snow. Someone could touch 4 inches, especially right over central and southern New Jersey with a little bit more interaction with the Atlantic Ocean. But really, this is not a big deal here. It's going to be a fast-moving disturbance. It's going to rocket right through and then exit right off the coast with no significant impacts. It will make roads slick tonight into tomorrow morning. So for rush hour tomorrow morning, use a little bit of caution, drive a little bit slower, because you're going to be dealing with some black ice, and especially in some of these secondary roads where they aren't going to be treated, you're going to have to use caution there. Now, on the infrared satellite picture, you can see this disturbance approaching. Now you see how these cloud tops are yellow here? That means that they're enhanced. And there's a little bit more lifting going on here. That's why you're seeing more impressive radar echoes here. So we do have a vigorous disturbance here, and here's our subtropical disturbance. A couple of, about 8 days ago, the idea here was that these two were going to interact. And you can see how energetic both of them are. But because of timing, and this is an important lesson, I'm bringing this up now for this coming week. Because of timing, this was a little bit too fast, and it was moving faster than this disturbance, and they couldn't catch up with each other. That's why we don't have a major storm. That's the basic idea. I can go into more detail here, but it would be about an hour video, and you probably wouldn't want to hear about all the physics and calculus and multivariable calculus. It's just mind-boggling. Anyway, that's basically the idea here. This disturbance was not fast enough to catch up to this disturbance. Thus, we just get some light snow for today. 1 to 3 inches region wide, an isolated 4th inch is possible in some locations. I'm targeting central and southern New Jersey for that 4th inch. That's about it. Okay, and it's going to be this evening, so if you have any plans today, don't cancel them. Just use a little bit more caution. If you see it snowing outside, you might see a brief burst of heavy snow, but that's really about it. So, on the water vapor satellite picture, you can see here's our polar disturbance approaching. Here's our subtropical disturbance leaving. Nice little swirl here in the water vapor satellite picture showing how dynamic this disturbance is. But again, it's going to be moving too fast and it's a bit moisture starved. Here's our next storm that is brewing for the middle of this week, Wednesday into Thursday. This disturbance is going to be approaching the west coast, driving towards the east coast, and depending on the blocking setup here, could be a major winter storm for much of the northern mid-Atlantic and northeast. Actually, all of the mid-Atlantic, down to North Carolina, all the way up to New England. That does not mean all snow. Let me explain this in just a moment. But the setup is clearly present, and the conditions are clearly favorable for a major winter storm. However, I'm not that convinced it's going to be all snow in many locations. I think we're going to be dealing with snow, sleet, freezing rain, back to snow. It's going to be a mess for Thursday. On the latest model guidance, I just want to pull up the NAM model guidance. Just kind of show you the timing of this snowfall for today. Again, The bulk of it, I think, is going to be right around 8 p.m. That's when a lot of people are going to see a lot of the slight snow. And by midnight, it's out here. So by midnight, this is off the coast and leaving the region. So it's going to just be for this evening. And that's about it. Other than that, I'm going to be dealing with just some light snow. The best potential for a burst here is going to be around 8 p.m. So between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m., that's going to be your best potential, seeing that burst of heavy snow accumulating an inch or two and heading out of here very, very quickly with a third inch likely in some locations. So now let's take a look at the European model guidance from the Penn State EWOL website. Again, for this evening, here comes our disturbance moving through. It barely registers a surface low pressure system here. Again, I can't stress enough, weak low pressure system, 1 to 3 inches of snow, isolated fourth inch is possible. Most of the snow between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. It's out of here by midnight. So then we go towards tomorrow. And high pressure is generally in control, comfortable weather conditions, chilly, temperatures in the upper teens to lower 20s for lows, upper 20s to lower 30s for highs. We're still well below normal. We should be around 43, 44 degrees for a high in the afternoon. Wednesday, moving forward, high pressure is remaining in control for Tuesday and Wednesday up until the afternoon. Now, you're probably noticing this low pressure here and this strong disturbance here. Plenty of moisture pooling and cold air in place. Leading up on Tuesday, tranquil, comfortable, temperatures chilly. Here's the key point here. Temperatures are going to be the single digits to mid-teens for lows, lower to mid-20s for highs. Why am I bringing this up? This winter, all throughout the winter, we have constantly seen the models underestimate this cold air. It has happened from the start of December, actually all the way back to October, and it continues now. So when you look at this model guidance, this is why I always stress, do not trust the details on a storm 5 days out, or 4 days out, or 7 days out, or 10 days out. The point here I'm trying to make, you really don't get a handle on what's happening with the storm until 2 or 3 days out with this type of weather pattern. And the reason why, again, is because this disturbance and this disturbance right now are in the middle of the Pacific and in the middle of the Arctic. Exactly where we don't have any sampling or limited sampling on exactly just how strong, fast, and how strong and fast these disturbances are. So you really don't want to jump the gun here. But by the time we get into Wednesday, we have a lot of features here that would be favorable for a storm. You have a weak 50-50 low here. Okay, you have some minor blocking up in Canada, up in Greenland. Again, this is not a perfect pattern in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying it is, but it's close. It's better than what we've been seeing, that's for sure. One factor that makes me a little bit cautious on advertising a major, major powerful winter storm, but all snow everywhere, is the fact that we have this type of pattern here. This usually means a little bit more progressive pattern, which usually means this is going to go negative a little bit later than what the model guidance is showing right now. And also I'm cautious of the fact that this ridge is becoming rather flat, and we're starting to see a trough slowly shift towards the Gulf of Alaska. These factors are inhibiting factors for a winter storm. This is a supporting factor. Of course, if the subtropical disturbance does go negative around this time period, that would be a supporting factor. And of course, the other supporting factor is that there will be cold air in place ahead of this storm. So then it's a matter of trying to work out all these details. And there's numerous details and factors to consider, especially when you're trying to figure out exactly what type of Pacific pattern we're going to be dealing with. Let's say if this disturbance is a little bit further south, it bumps up this ridge just a little bit. I mean a little bit. Then you're dealing with a totally different type of pattern because this trough is more enhanced. You see why you can't really jump to conclusions? Because even a slight change of, let's say, 50 miles on a disturbance out in the Pacific that we have no data on would have a fundamental impact on exactly how the storm evolves moving forward. This is why you cannot jump into details, and this is why you do not issue snow maps or put out model snow maps 10 days out on any storm. Okay? Alright, I said my piece. So, here we have the storm for Thursday. It lifts up along the coast. Now, the operational European model guidance takes this low pressure system basically right over New Jersey. If that was to happen, what you end up with is heavy snow along the coast to start off, changing over to rain. The problem here, as I noted, cold air here has been rather stubborn to leave, so we could be dealing with a prolonged period of sleet and freezing rain before it goes over to rain. Immediate coast probably won't be that problem, quickly going over to rain, no big deal. Over the interior, this is a heavy snow event. However, I want to bring up a point again. As I said earlier, we have to see how exactly how these disturbances interact. There's a lot of mild guys that takes us so far out into the Atlantic because of the progressive pattern here that we barely have a storm. I think that's a bit extreme. I think these two solutions are the extreme solutions. The Canadian mild guidance isn't too bad, a little bit too far east for my liking. So the point here I'm trying to make is that we don't really know the exact track here, and the exact track and how that track is influenced by what happens in the Pacific, which we don't have a lot of data on, will have a fundamental impact on what's going to happen with this storm. So what I want you to take away from today is that definitely everyone starts off as snow Wednesday night. Then there's definitely going to be a major winter storm. There will be threats for coastal flooding, especially as this storm is intensifying. All models agree that this storm is going to be intensifying. It's just a question of where and who gets what. So Thursday is going to be a very stormy day. Thursday morning is going to be very stormy. We're going to be dealing with snow, sleet, rain, coastal flooding, strong winds. It's not going to be pretty. But let's hold off on the details on who gets what just yet until we get more data. The more data we get, the better we are. And it's important not to jump the gun on these storms. So we definitely have that activity to deal with. And then the good news here, as we head towards the next weekend, I think this is a little bit fast, but the point here is that we're starting to get out of our winter pattern. Slowly but surely, okay? Again, I like February 20th. From February 20th on, we start to get out of this pattern, and then in March, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. Compared to 10 degrees out, I mean, anything's going to be beautiful. But the point here I'm trying to make here is that we are seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. Models are going a little bit too fast, in my opinion. They normally do in this type of pattern, and I'll explain why in the premium video discussion later on this morning. But the point here is that we're going to be dealing with one major storm on Thursday. Temperatures are going to range anywhere from the lower 30s to lower 40s, depending on where you are in the exact storm track on Thursday. Friday, we're actually near normal because behind this storm is really a Pacific air mass. There's really not any polar Arctic air mass coming in behind the storm. So we warm up, we'll feel very warm, but in reality, we're pretty much at normal temperatures, mid to upper 20s for lows and upper 30s to lower 40s for highs on Friday. And then for next weekend, not bad. Tranquil weather conditions for the most part. We might be dealing with a few snow showers, but temperatures are going to remain below normal in the upper teens to lower 20s for lows and lower to mid 30s for highs. That is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen D. Martino. You can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.